stream started. Tell me if you get a notification.
Okay, I'm pretty sure yes.
So do I start here, or where do I start?
Maybe go back to the other one. I don't know.
Okay. Is it this one? Just the two of us?
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
The one that's almost over.
Mm-hmm. Among the rows of ruined buildings, she spotted a factory-like complex that still stood in decent shape. It was clearly not a bookshop, but rather...
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Japanese words.
Just say the market.
Yeah.
Whoa!
What?
The
market.
No. Someone joined called this.
Oh.
Let's not say that out loud.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's called demonetization on everything.
Yeah. Let's never mention this ever again.
Let's never mention this ever again. Yes, never again.
Mm-hmm. You can call it the tea market.
Okay. The entrance to the tea market. Market.
The Tsukiji.
So, like,
my sister's like, get out.
Tsukiji.
Mm-hmm. You actually got it. The Tsukiji market, one of the finest fish markets in Japan. Needless to say, the place was completely deserted. However, all the fish were nearly lined up to stalls, leaving the area in positively eerie atmosphere. Although, people often use the expression to have eyes like the dead fish, the way these things were lined up here seared the image of death into my mind.
Ugh, and the smell, too.
And the place was laden with the stench of fish, something Razzle found somewhat difficult to endure. In any case, it had become rather clear that this was since the sixth stratum, provided Uriel spoke the truth. And he mostly likely did. Even in madness, the angel had no reason to lie. And as such, it stood to reason that this was either the fifth or the seventh stratum. There could be only one way to make sure. To have a look on the outside of Tokyo Babel. What? Yet, that would be far too dangerous, and Razzle feared getting swept off the soaring purgatory without fully able Setsuna at her side. One thing was clear in her mind, though. That's not a soul have been to this place since the foundation of Tokyo Babel. So we bypassed the insane level.
Yeah, you just jumped.
Yeah, we bypassed insanity.
Yeah, the part with the chorus, you just were like, nah.
Yeah, let's not deal with that. That's one way to
like how to get past the third through fifth stratum. It's just like
just don't
power of love your way through it and just teleport.
Yep. My explanation was how do you get through this level? Just don't.
Don't.
Cheat codes.
Yeah, that's what he did. He cheat coded his way up through the game.
Yeah, he went up 2 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yet there she was now, her and Tendo Setsuna. After a moment of delight, Razzle realized something was utter importance.
It's just the two of us.
A place beyond the reach of angels, demons, and possibly even the Lord himself. This could very well be a critical moment for her, in more ways than one. And so she flocked towards dawn, one thought, never once leaving her mind. I struggled to my feet, confirming the successful recovery of essential components of my body. Bones, muscle, skin, nerves, vein. I clenched my fist, then lightly tapped the ground with my feet. All good. Another hour and I'd be good as new. All I had left to do was signal to Razzle and decide how we should proceed from here. We had three options to consider. 1. Search for a way back to Pandora. 2. Wait here until help arrives. 3. Keep pressing on. It was still too early for 2. We would only need to consider it if 1 and 3 became impossible to carry out. Which ultimately left us with the choice to make between those two. Ooh, choices. 1. Certainly felt like the most reasonable option to pick, but I glanced down at the severed key in my palm. That's once belonged to Sormy. Back then, Lilith must have hurled the key my way because she expected something like this to happen. Either way, how were we to proceed? Naturally, I would first have to discuss it with Razzle, but I still feel like I should give some thought of my own too. If this place turned out to be the 7th stratum, our choice was clear. We would press on and open the gates of heaven. It could easily bring an end to the struggle, and Sormy wouldn't have to risk her life any longer. She could return to her peaceful life as she once had. Furthermore, no one else would have to become a pilgrim. I would be the last. But if this place turned out to be the 5th or 6th stratum, how were we to act then? That was a more difficult question to answer. Provided this was the 6th stratum, we could very well run into the book Razzle had been desperately searching for. In that case, we could need to make finding the top priority. What had been the 5th stratum then? Would we search for the gates of the 6th stratum and keep pressing onwards after that? This place had no master overseeing it. If we reached the 6th stratum, Razzle's long-cherished wish would be fulfilled. She would finally retrieve her book. The Serve Razzle, a tome containing all divine knowledge of creation, a book she had written for herself, that entrusted it to mankind as a show of faith. If all possible, I wanted to fulfill the dream of hers. God damn,
I love how you have blocks of text and I've said 3 things. Why I like streaming more than you. Satsuna.
I greeted Razzle upon her return, and if she had found anything of note.
Yes, a building. It seems to be Tokyo's Tsukiji market, which means we're not on the 6th stratum.
I see. I got my hopes up in vain. Either way, we had to decide whether to retrace our steps or continue onwards.
What's wrong?
What if we're in the past?
I feel like you're just in a pocket dimension at this point.
Yeah, I feel like we went into a parallel world.
Like, this is not Tokyo Babel. This is just Happy Land.
Imagine this was the real world.
This is just Happy Europe servers. That's what this is.
Razzle, I would like to hear your opinion. Should we keep going or turn back? That's you right there. It's like, so what should we do? Razzle promptly froze in place. That is definitely you. It's like, so what should we do?
That was me today when the doctor was like, we're gonna have a psychology screening. I was like, dear Lord, what?
It's
like, I didn't want to tell anyone about that.
But you're all gonna die.
Yes.
Razzle, a few moments, she suddenly seemed to have come to some sort of conclusion.
I see. I never even thought about it like that.
What?
Yeah.
Yep. Not exactly the most reassuring of replies. If it turns out we're in the 7th stratum.
Yes, in that case, we should be able to find Jacob's ladder around here, or at least something to lead us to it.
Oh my gosh! the thing we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Coincidences.
It's Tokyo Babel.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something that has to deal with the things that I did today too.
Mm-hmm. Because like they just like, hey, you wanna watch a movie? Yeah. I was like, do you wanna watch Jacob's Ladder? No? Okay. Okay.
The heck?
Hmm?
I heard the Discord ping,
Was it?
and it's not on anything.
Was it a group of pine cones?
No, that already came through.
Hmm. Was it?
It's just no.
How interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What happened?
Where is it coming from?
Why, you got another message?
Oh, it's a server. Okay, it's a server. It's fine.
What are you talking about? Was it
I
like
didn't
a musical?
notice. It was a server, and it kept pinging, and yeah.
Was using the music server.
Yes.
Okay. And can you detect anything like that now? She silently shook her head. So, that makes this place to fit, Stratum.
I'd say that's very likely. It's just that I'd go outside to confirm it.
Outside, you mean? Ah, I see. Back on the first stratum, we stepped outside to give Razzle's body to the sea. If we...
Razzle's body?
I mean, Gethel's body. Yes, we dumped your dead body.
Dump Razzle's dead body in the sea too. Everyone goes in the sea.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna continue what I was thinking. You know what I was thinking.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If this were by any chance a 7th stratum, we should be extremely close to Tokyo Babel's summit. A place not a soul has seen, let alone reach up until now.
I need to check the outer wall. Could you lend me a hand?
I have no reason to refuse. Of course. Let us be on our way, Razzle.
Okay.
We both pushed ourselves away to the grounds, leapt to the sky as we began flying side by side.
So, Setsuna, did you manage to find it during your battle with Uriel? Your raison d'être, I mean. It's like, oh yeah, about that.
This reminds me of something you would do. Someone's like, so, did you do the thing? And then you very well know that I did the thing. I was like, Mm-hmm. After a few moments of consideration, I gave her the uncertain nod. Me. Yeah.
I guess, maybe, sure.
I'm not gonna tell you. But it's not perfect yet. I merely gauged the tip of the iceberg. So to speak, unless I seize it with all my might, I won't be able to reign in it. I wasn't at the level just yet.
I see. Oh?
Meanwhile, she's like, oh. Look at her face.
Yeah, she's just like, oh.
Uh-huh. What's wrong?
Someone changed your tone a bit just now.
Yes, Setsuna. I think you're lying. I think you just don't want to tell me what you really feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that tone. An accidental slip of my tongue on my part. Razzle kept staring at me, refusing to swallow any sort of excuse that might calm. It was just her imagination. So I gave in. You're right, I used to talk a slight different way. But I corrected it shortly while coming to this world.
corrected it?
Oh no. Yes, I was told to be more firm in my speech because it would fit me better. Feeling I'd just been liberated from tremendous burden, my tone gradually shifted back to the way it used to be. God, is it just my voice?
That's me too. It's like, I'm gonna cover my accent. Fails utterly. Okay, I give up. You must have gone through a lot, right?
Oh my gosh, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you must have gone through a lot. In a way.
It's still flying, and she's just standing like that.
She's Superman. I mean, Supergirl. Or whatever you want to call it. You're the... You know, you're the expert at this. Right? Mm-hmm. I produced a bitter smile. Still uncertain how she would react hearing about my past. She was an angel after all. And also someone who never forcefully inquired about and said past. But I think she started to suspect something. My powers, the way I talked and act. And that was the little I had shared about my past, the world I used to call home. The world succumbed to endless conflict, having lost in a vital ray of hope. Talking about my past wasn't easy, and it needed a rose anyone would strength enough to reveal it. However, I needed a different kind of strength, a different kind of resolve, in order to reveal my past to Razzle. I do not wish to be scorned. I do not wish her to fear me, or become sad because of me. Oh my, me! Those worries had been on my mind constantly.
I'm going to land here for a bit.
Egged on by Razzle, I ended up landing in the middle of tea market. The stench of fish was somehow unpleasant.
Look, what should we do with these fish?
Eat them all.
All of them.
Yes. What should we do? What should we do?
You know, like sushi, for example. You're Japanese, right? Sushi should be no problem for you then.
Damn, that's offensive.
You're Japanese, so therefore you should like all Japanese food, right?
I was like, you're Japanese. You could cook, right? You could cook Japanese food, right?
It's like how I like rice and noodles.
Do
clearly.
You know? I can't tell if that's sarcasm. Different kind of noodles.
You'll never know.
I had a feeling Razzle was kind of giddy with excitement. Now that I think about it, there had been some trouble with foreign tourists at the tea market a number of years ago. I'd say that's pushing it, Razzle, though, well, preparing tuna might not require something more complex like chopping it up. Now that I think about it. Truth be told, I actually witnessed the work of a sushi cook once before. I should be able to mimic easy enough. Right. On the other hand, I didn't have the proper rice besides. Actually, didn't you bring lunch yourself?
I'm guessing that's like, oh.
I was like, oh, I thought Tuna was gonna cook for me.
It's like, why aren't you cooking for me?
Razzle blinked back in confusion. I seemed to have touched upon something thoroughly unexpected. Did you see that little jiggle? It was adorable.
Yes.
She thrusted her hand in her pocket, desperately to fish out something. Not to be rude, but it clearly wouldn't be there. Hey! Look what she's got.
Oh, wow. She's a Game Boy. What the heck, Razzle?
That's not a Game Boy, but okay. She pulled out a sword, then a shield. Her pocket must have connected to, ironically enough, a pocket dimension. There's a... Did Setsuna not witness that? Because another one where, oh, let's put our food in the pocket next to with Sormy. I guess
Yeah,
he
that was
doesn't know
the
about
other
it.
one.
She kept pulling item after item from it, various weapons, pieces of armor, as well as accessories, both seemingly important and useless, piling them up in a small mountain.
Found it.
you said
Excitement.
you said it after the little music. I was like, "Du-du-du-du-du-du." Found it.
Found it.
Yes, it was the perfect moment for you to say that. Relieved, she triumphantly held up the bonk's lunch in question.
Thank goodness. I almost thought I'd lost it mid-battle.
Mm-hmm.
She's so excited.
Could you lose the thing if it was inside a pocket dimension? Also, what was she planning to do with the mountain of bits of blobs accumulating behind her?
The time seems perfect for lunch. What's your think?
I just remembered. We left Lilith and Sormy with a boss person.
I know. I mean, I think later on we're just gonna meet back up with Lilith and Stormy. They'll be completely fine. Uriel will be dead, and then they'll just be like, "How did you get out?" And then Lilith will be like, "I'm the head demon. Remember?"
I feel like they're gonna be pissed off. It's like, why'd you leave us there? We killed it, but still.
They'll just be like, "Did you seriously just discover your raison d'etre and just left us?" That's not what you're supposed to do, Setsuna. You're supposed to fight, not chicken out.
That's legit what Setsuna does. Like, I need to run away. That's my raison d'etre requires me to run away really fast. Sure, but maybe somewhere else. We ended up finding a nearby sushi shop that still had an inner good enough shape. Oh, new scenery? Never mind, it's a black screen. Fresh sushi toppings lined the shelves, but they were neatly preserved and sliced up, emitting no smell. Dot dot dot. Razzle looked at me nervously, chewing on her thumb. I did plan to take her hand, but for now. Ooh. I'd like to try the lunch you made. The moment I said that, she flushed bright red, responding like a young human girl would. How would you know that, Setsuna? You don't know humans.
Listen.
We sat next to each other, sitting the...
Oh, this is this picture. Okay.
Setting the two lunchboxes on the table.
I really hope you're going to like it.
Her smile froze up then and there. I opened up the box lunch as well, immediately comprehending the reasons behind her shock. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't expecting something like this. It certainly was a universal problem faced by many. The larger the box, the more difficult it was to handle it. One had to be careful never to carry it vertically like one would a book. Oh. She did that. Unless they wanted it to end like this. It was a sorry sight, truly. God damn it, Setsuna, why are you insulting her cooking? Almost difficult to look at. And the fried chicken mixture with the tamayaki, taking on a particular hue with pieces of rice hanging off of it. The salad was all over the place, with thin pieces of cabbage coiled about the apple slices. The apple itself ended up soaked in grease as it pressed against the pieces of fried chicken. At least Setsuna can't taste the thing.
Yep.
Right, Setsuna? You're gonna eat all of it?
Yes, he loves it.
That's right, Setsuna.
Ah.
Oh, she's so sad. You want...
I was like,
Do you want that?
I have that actually. That's what I meant by that's where this picture came from. I have like 5 different versions of this with expressions.
Because this is disappointed, Angela.
Disappointed, Angela. I think I should just give you this picture every time I'm disappointed. It's just zoom in on her face and just be like, disappointed!
Disappointed! Yes. Reza was on the verge of tears, or rather, had already begun to cry. Just looking at her made my heart ache. Yes, Atuna, feel!
Mm.
I instinctively clenched my own chest, seeing Razzle sink deeper and deeper into despair, buckling under the pressure while shedding gigantic tears of despair. I simply could not hold myself any longer. With chopsticks in hand, I reached out towards a piece of fried chicken. Of course you did, as Razzle looked at me with round-eyed. I smiled back at her, then swiftly popped the chicken into my mouth. Nom nom. I began chewing on apple chicken, pleased with both its tender texture and flavor. You don't know nothing about flavors, Atuna. One could barely tell that the flavors had mixed up.
Stop!
Razzle quickly pulled the box away from me, glaring with the expression of a child who was robbed of her favorite toy. It's good.
I don't like liars. Huh.
Is it you?
I don't really mind, actually, but
We know whose that is. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I feel like I need to just plug it into a text-to-speech app and just have it fill in the blank with Malini every single time.
You know, you could just type it in right now and it's gonna say it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give me a second.
Wait, give me a second. Let me activate the things. Alright. Text speech, read, yes. Stalled voices, yes.
Yes.
Did you type it? We will now wait for the thing to appear.
Melina.
I said Melina now.
Yes, Melina.
It's not Malini, it's Melina. Perfect. I'm telling the truth, though.
So there's no way this train wreck of a lunchbox could be to anyone's liking.
I feel like that would be me. I was like, of course I like it.
And I'd be like, you idiot.
You would.
I'd probably just be like, you idiot.
Because I ate it?
Yes. Be like, why would you do that? Why?
Because I want to. I exhaled a long sigh. Knowing the words would be inefficient in her making her understand, I quickly scooped up a piece of fried chicken and forced it into her mouth. Oh my.
Chewing sounds. I should just eat the thing that's next to me and just be like...
Do it.
No, it's Nutella, so we'll make the same sound.
Oh. I mean, what? How is it? Razzle's features gradually loosened. Oh, she's smiling.
Yeah, I have that picture too.
Mhm.
It's like, this is contented, Angela.
Mhm.
This is actually pretty good, isn't it?
It's I feel like it's more proud, Angela. Or
Yeah, she's just like, look at what I can do.
Mhm.
Without trying.
It is. Next I went to the takoyaki. Most likely due to how unappetizing it looked, Razzle stared at me with her breath held as I carried the food into my mouth. The texture itself was hardly anything to write about, but the moderate sweetness of the flavor had a certain majestic feel to it. Since when was the tuna a food expert?
He's discovered the wheel of life. He's a food expert now.
I am now a chef.
Yes. Is that what happens when you discover the wheel of life? Is you just become a chef?
Are you gonna be a chef?
Oh, totally. There's no way that could be. What was I saying? I'm listening to this thing and it's confusing me.
No, it actually is good. Here, open up. That's actually the perfect sound effect for that. Normally you do that ironically, but now it's actually like
I know.
Yeah. She nervously opened her mouth, after which I carefully placed a piece of food into it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's already falling apart.
The taste is fine though, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is.
That's content, actually.
Yes.
Razzle must have been acting so bashful because she realized she was praising her own cooking. Honestly, though, the food was good enough to genuinely feel proud about. We spent the rest of our time quietly nibbling away at our food. The only objectable part, I would think, was how the fried chicken's oil soaked up in the apple. Nonetheless, I dutifully ate everything up without difficulty. Of course, because you're Setsuna. She's looking. I'm full.
Yep.
You just said yep. You pressed her hands together. Ooh. And brief prayer. Oh. And then helped ourselves to some tea. We found lying on the shop shelf. After taking a long sip, we both exhaled in satisfied sigh. I managed to calm my nerves, stealing a sideways glance at Razzle. I noticed her gaze intently at my ripples of her teacup.
This tea tastes a bit strange.
I totally didn't put anything in it.
Oh no.
Come on, don't go comparing it to Soma. Based on what I heard before, the angels of heaven.
Hi.
Hello, Daniel. That was scary. Oh. Its flavor must have been the highest, most exquisite quality.
Melina.
Why would you do this? You terrify me. Naturally, there was no such thing here at Tokyo Babel. A small handful of angels still held on to their emergency reserves, but that was about it.
Oh, I'm not saying it's bad. It's certainly delicious and complements the food perfectly.
I see.
I didn't watch the other episode of Tokyo Babel OMG.
Some is a bit on the sweet side. Too sweet, in fact. I never had to eat anything else in my life, though.
It's alright. You could watch it later. On YouTube.com.
Yes, watch all the streams. All of them. And the Who's Mike stream. Watch that too. All of them.
So, Razzle, do you wish to return to heaven? Razzle's thought to herself for a few moments, then cocked her head to the side, giving no clear indication of what her response was.
I'm not entirely certain myself. At first, I wanted to return there as soon as possible. It is sort of my homeland, you see.
Did she have her tongue sticking out for a second?
I feel like she did.
We could have screenshotted that.
I'll get it off the stream.
What was it about heaven that made people want to live there at all costs? After all, they did not even have books.
But I've started to think that simply living my life at Tokyo Babel with you, Lilith and Sorame, may not be all that bad either. Yeah.
No,
Like, you could chase this eternal dream, or you could just be satisfied with what you have.
yeah, that's what I do. That was a dreamlike notion at best. Nothing lasted forever. Eternity was an illusion. Even now, we kept passing onwards, withering at all hardships that came our way.
Hmm.
Even still, the brief, blissful time we spent together. Are you sure? Raza shook her head to find her own dream was staring reality straight in the eye.
No, we couldn't stay like that. Even if we wanted to, Tokyo Babel is a fleeting existence at best. It will vanish. It will all vanish one day. Which is precisely why we must open the gates of heaven as soon as we can.
I know. I need some water. I comprehended her reasoning. Yet there was one particular issue that tugged on my back of my mind, even though I never once considered up until now. There's one thing I'd like to know. Once the heavens of gate are open, what are we supposed to do then?
Oh,
Am I supposed to understand that you have no plan in mind whatsoever?
Lilith has one. I think. Maybe.
Her face is like, This is Angela face. You have that?
Here, I'll do this so that I can just make it my icon.
It's this constant Angela face. Is I did nothing. I did nothing wrong. Did you get it? No. Yeah.
Nothing. I did nothing wrong. I have done nothing.
I would have done without so weak maybe at the end. Either way, I doubt Lilith had anything particular in mind. Even if she did, she would deny it. Ooh.
How about coming to heaven with me?
Razzle hung her head, her words softening. I had the feeling that was an invitation of sorts. Heaven, God's paradise, a realm of eternal bliss and happiness. I would have to respectfully decline. Heaven is no place for someone like me.
But why? Even now, you fight for God. In my opinion, you have every right to be granted eternal bliss in heaven.
I disagree. There is no such right.
You do?
Razzle, I'm a murderer. She stared back at me in confusion.
If this is about Getho and Kuromikayo, you mustn't let it get you. The former was an angel and the latter devoured one, and both of them were beyond saving.
You want that?
I like this one.
Okay. No print screen. I said nothing. I said nothing. That's enough time to be left. I will now proceed. No, I'm not talking about them. My expression had no doubt clouded over as I uttered the words. I'm a murderer. My hands are stained with the blood of over 10 million people.
10 billion?
Yes. I set down my teacup near the table, longing for the touch of another. I reached out and clasped Razzle's hand. She tilted back for a moment, almost as in refusal, her entire body shaken by the chill. Okay. Words I once spoke ushered in the destruction of all people in my world. When Azul found herself in loss for words, she gave my hand a squeeze, never once letting go of it. Like I said, I'm a cold-blooded murderer. Flashback. Their voices buzzed in my ear like a swarm of insects. Enough, quiet down. I clearly remember being overcome with such negative emotions. As an infant, I was made into an exhibition to be gawked at by people in the pure white room. They took utmost care of maintaining hygiene, almost to an unnatural degree. White, white, white. As far as I could see, nothing more, just white. I despised that color. There was another thing that crossed my mind at that day. I possessed clear, ordered, logical thoughts, hardly a feat common in newborn children. But I was special and was chosen by the people of this world. As far as parallel worlds were concerned, mine was especially heretical. There exist worlds ruled by dinosaurs, others by mankind. Some fell victim to nuclear warfare, others to natural disasters. Some even advanced their technology far enough to succeed voyages to the far depths of space. Yet all those worlds had one common characteristic: fate. Myth of Marad names, carrying the Marad's traditions. The name may have differed in each world: spirits, angels, God, or fate. But the fact remains that people believed in the existence of the unseen and indefinitely vast force, and this was no doubt a consequence of the existence of angels and demons. People of every world believed of some sort of spirituality, some even of higher supernatural existences. My world was different. We had turned our backs on all such notions. As we could have the cause, the gradual depletion of mankind's vital resources through the natural disasters and change in the Earth's crust. Or perhaps because men and women, young and old alike, accepted the world's ancestral turmoil, and war where bloodshed only birthed even more bloodshed. Indeed, our world had rejected God. Ours, the world governed by complete irrational rejecting the supernatural and spiritual, in other words, forcing transcending mere natural phenomena. We did experience the age of occult, however. It soon found itself exposed and made abundant redundant by rationality. The spirit was subordinated to the category of mere natural phenomena, while psychic abilities fell under a field of psychic physics. And soon enough, we ended up completely rejecting the idea of supposedly all-seeing, all-knowing God. Numerous misfortunes were attributed to mere coincidences, not fate. The horrors of the world were the works of men, not a cannibal of demons. Simply, the many wonders of the world were hardly a gift of angels, but the crystallization of mankind's relentless efforts. We continued to grow and expand, eventually gaining dominance over both the earth and nature itself. We overcame all natural disasters. Religion did not exist, neither did the people clinging on to higher beings. Everyone lived for themselves. Following the complete erosion of natural borders and the establishment of one world government, the Earth's population exceeded 10 billion, and so mankind came to a realization that they were weary of it all. Indeed, mankind found itself exhausted, sick of wars, of conflict, even of victory. Their hearts, their minds, had been worn down to the verge of collapse. They yearned for something to cling on to, something to rely on, someone to lend their ear in their pleas. All 10 billion people nurtured the same idea. Normally a belief to fulfill such wishes would be called God, all-knowing and omnipotent. However, our world had only rejected God, denying its existence of conveniently all-powerful beings. Guided by the mindset, we built a highly advanced society that refused to depend on such a God. The course of our history bordered on the miraculous, yet here we were.
I feel so bad for you. It's not even a picture. It's just text.
You scare me so bad. And can you not hear me? Did you just disappear? Why weren't you talking?
I can hear you. I just love how there's literally no picture and it's just making room for more text.
Yeah, it's just... I feel like you did that to purposely scare me in this, like, silent room. Dark, silent room. Can I just read it in my normal voice?
Yes.
Of the course of history bordered the miraculous, yet we were our collective wit's end. The world's population exceeded 8 billion. The fires of war, thought to have long existed and extinguished, came sparking back to life all across the globe. The aggressors' goals were neither resources nor territory gain. They attacked out of rage, irritation, sadness, and despair, igniting conflict after conflict without end. And so, our unified world had begun working on a singular project. Setsuna. It's like,
woo, a picture.
Yeah, I was born ripped. I was born from abs. We had already turned our backs on the foolish notion of the omnipotent God a good 2,000 years before. However, we ended up devoting human history to the guidance of others. We had enough, no more. We had tired, word beyond words. And so we chose to create our own omnipotent God, Setsuna. Though the power of cutting-edge technology, we could have created gods to build worlds. The action was no doubt labeled as the ultimate hubris. However, our world had no such creator, only mankind arrogant in its rationality. Look at my miraculous. And so we created God. If we were to give birth to a person to act as God, we would need to be created in the image of man. And that's exactly what we did, create a living being resembling a human. This birth would not be carried by way of maternal womb either. After all, we were guided by rationality, down to the very last details, and God was unique, being peerless of all worlds. He would not be born from the womb of a mere human. Life would be created from zero, granted intelligence, and elevated to godhood. It with tremendous ambitions projected its scope, rivaled only by its sheer folly, yet the world of large and high hopes for its completion. And ever weary of life and a wish to rest, it was a notion shared by every man and woman. Hey, it's your mom. She introduced herself to be Tendo Naru. I clearly recall hearing her name given through the walls of my capsule filled with the brim of the amniotic fluid. You wanna be the mother?
Sure. I just look up and I see German and I'm like, oh, that's fun. Apparently it means zero in German. Wouldn't that be null, though? Well, I never have forgiven my parents if they gave me a name like that.
Whoa. Her lips curled upwards, and I found her beautiful smile. And one thought stayed with me. Once she would greet me with a smile that none of the other nameless researchers did.
You were created to one day become this world's god. Ooh. Fun.
Whoa! I almost... All the noise. She went on, gently leaning against the capsule I was in.
But right now, you're still my child.
All the noise. I couldn't help but spot a hint of sadness lurking behind her smile. My first words were neither mommy nor daddy, but the name of a woman, Tendu Naru. And so the days trickled on. Eventually, I was removed from the amniotic fluid and was born as God. However, I was not yet perfect. I required education. So I studied history. I learned from the follies of the forefathers while also acquainting myself with positive qualities such as nobility, virtue, and bravery. The history of man was one rich with blood, and so I too had to learn the art of war. My body had been devoured, endowed with a variety of special abilities, divided in categories such as Inokagutsuchi, Takakawo, Tagemichikachi, and so on. Those skills were hardly magic, but rather the modifications of certain physical abilities. They were granted on me following careful study of various characteristics of electric eels and insects. Nothing more, nothing less. They were powers held on meaning beyond performance. I grew up in an abnormal rate, although this is partly due to the accelerants had been administered. The primary reason originated in the fact that humanity itself did not bear to wait for another decade or two at best. Save me, please save me. I feel like nothing.
Yeah, that's enjoyable.
Their cries echoed in the ears each and every day. I was told that my words and actions would soothe their pain. Wow, it's picturesque. My tone, speech patterns were corrected after about 2 or 3 months. You want that image?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Alright.
It really shouldn't matter how you talk, you know.
Her soft, loud laugh chimed in the air. I looked at her, confused. After 3 months, I had discovered what role she played in all this. A problematic woman who was indispensable to the project, but should have never been a part of it. Such were the circumstances of Tendo Naru, the woman who gave me my name.
Setsuna, listen.
I doubt I am Setsuna, though.
Oh, it's fine. It's easier for me to call you that. On the other hand, it couldn't hurt if you yourself came to accept that that is your identity.
What the frick is that supposed to be?
Mm.
Would that truly be acceptable?
What you are about to become is known as married names around the world, so I see no problems with referring to you by your name that means something only to me.
I met her nonchalant tone with a smile, wondering if she had told me that it was true.
Oh, you smiled. Good, very good.
Nara flashed a smile at me, which in turn made me hide mine. Indeed, for God must never be seen smiling. Is that why he's such a...
Yeah. Don't worry. You'll become a new god. You will laugh, cry, and occasionally grow angry. But if you'll be happy, so will I.
Oh, my words. Her words appeared to run counter to everything I had been taught. Everything this project and all of its other members aimed to accomplish. Naru, you seem probably not to say it in front of others. She smiled at my warning.
I know. You're absolutely right.
She placed her hand on my head. To this day, I still remember its gentle warmth. Her job entailed not my instruction, but the creation of my body. The body of God, needed to exclude strength and beauty, or so the orders dictated.
Really though, what's that even supposed to mean? Did they want me to make you a bodybuilder or what?
Setsuna's plenty strong. I occasionally had trouble understanding what Naru meant.
Still, you did turn out splendidly.
I mean my body. Naru allowed me to relax my tone. When it was just the two of us, it made me somehow happy, and I would have secrets to share with her.
Yes, you are strong. Make absolutely no mistake. You do possess the most powerful body on the face of this planet.
This planet.
Yep. You got some people who beat you on the others.
Mm-hmm.
And they're little anime girls.
What? Oh yeah. You mean the angels and demons?
Lilith and Razzle.
Yeah. I thought you meant something else, but okay. Naru. Up. Waves of sorrow washed over her gaze, lips trembling on the verge of tears. Naru ran her thin, ice-cold fingers around my cheek.
If only he too had a body like yours.
Oh.
They have like the same hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He might still be alive.
I feel like she created me to replace her child. That's why I look like her.
Hi.
Hello, back again. Terrifying. Her whispers were not meant for my ears, yet my exceedingly keen hearing picked up on it, craving only a syllable deep in my mind. As nothing would kept private from me, I had full access to the facility's information terminal, which allowed me to learn of Naru's past. Thinking back on its retrospect, I wish I had never found out. Oh. There was once a boy named Tendo Setsuna, Naru's son. However, about a year ago he passed away. The cause of death was aging. What? His body aged at an increasingly accelerated rate compared to normal human, leaving his untimely despite medical treatment. So they're forcing Setsuna to do Setsuna because they accelerate his aging, but only to a certain point. I was like, oh.
Yep.
My name stood as a substitute for him, who was never given the time to enjoy life to its fullest. I'd be lying if I said the thought of having been made the substitute for a complete stranger wouldn't affect me in the least somewhat negatively. However, I ended up being surprised, seeing though. There was nothing to be done about it. She was tormented by grief and possibly hatred as well. I had no intention of letting her know that I had learned of her past. However, having acquired that knowledge, I wouldn't help but feel something in her gaze whenever we were together. It was not hatred, though not quite love either. Something similar to the latter, but still a touching different. Obsessive attachment would be the most appropriate way to put it. Time and time again, the two of us would spend some time together to chat. And every time I saw a glint of quiet madness in her eyes, despite all... She was both a genius and my surrogate mother. One day, when it was just the two of us...
Tell me, don't you feel you're just a little bit too connected?
I thought it was conceited. Yep.
Conceited.
I do not believe I am.
How foolish. You live in the moment, remember? I won't deny you're exceptional, but there are plenty of others like you.
Damn, Naru. I have a hard time comprehending what you mean.
Soon you will become someone truly exceptional, but you mustn't ever forget this. Ah, Setsuna, 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 my dearest, beloved, detestable Setsuna.
Does that not remind you of subject?
Yeah, I would write it out, but busy.
You have an image of that.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love you from the bottom of my heart.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
I love you, I hate you, I hate that, I love you.
Oh, I love that song.
I know you do.
I love that song.
That's why I said it. My memories wished to reject it, yet my mind fully comprehended the words you spoke next. The curse in disguise.
Which is why I'm going to tell you. You are...
That day I cried for the first time in my life. God damn. Is that what happened? Naru was dismissed from the project soon after that. I continued to grow and learn, however the world was corrupted beyond relief. They would not be able to wait for me to complete my education. 3 years was soon shortened to a single year. The world would have been consumed by flames of conflict had they not done that. My innate rapid growth slowed down somewhat. My physical appearance was designed to shift from a young adult in his late 20s to someone of his 30s within the age of another 2 years. However, it was decided that I would reveal to the public after a year. The higher-ups felt things would go smoothly. Only a handful of researchers who idolized Tendo Naru ended up voicing their objections. Once I skimmed through the manuscript I had been handed, they dragged me into the open. I had to wear a set of particular clothing, said to have been calming its physiological effect on people. I was ready to endure that much. After being created as God, raised as such, I felt prepared to live out my life as God. I felt the beat of my heart loud and clear in my chest, and an inexplicable pain assaulted my whole body. My stomach felt heavy, although like I had been stabbed with a knife. He has, what's it called? Stage frightness. Or maybe he actually got stabbed. I don't know. The cries of joy buzzed like swarms of insects. Enough, quiet down. You're wrong. Words of denial bubbled forth and forfeited my mind. This is a mistake. Fragile words, yet once spoken of undeniable truth. Their incessant cries of joy buried me in avalanche. I had enough. I wanted this to end. I felt my heart overcome with disgust, fierce enough to make me want to vomit, despair, intensity, enough to make me want to cry. I claimed to know the feeling men call fear. I was scared. I once feared nestled itself in one's heart. It would never let go. Yet my feet carried on onwards, almost involuntarily due to how many times I practiced it. The joyful cries of the piteous. Many grew out louder, shouting my name in joy, worship, and adoration. I pushed the door open, light flooding my vision. The moment all fighting, all confidence, all petty squabbles ceased at once. Every man, woman held into hope, each within the dream of their own. They earnestly believed that a being like me would guide them to salvation, and I had to fulfill that duty. To bear the burden of 10 billion. The reality of it came crashing down on me like a tidal wave. Become God, shoulder their burden, guide them. No, no, I don't want to. Later, once I came to Tokyo Babel, I would recall that day from time to time. In the end, what I liked the most was time. I had only been a year since my birth, far too little time for anyone to become a ruler of mankind. If only they had waited out the plans. 3 years I might have been able to endure it. I would have become God. That was not what went down. The beating of my own heart and its cries of joys all irritated me. People irritated me. The way it looked at me with eyes full of expectations. Ooh, me. I would soon be the salvation of countless people. I myself could not be saved from anyone. I had been created for that purpose alone. The memories of that day were a jumbled, vague mess. The people I overlooked filled with dread and contempt, driving me to screams at the top of my lungs. You're wrong. I'm not what you think I am. I'm not your god. I can't become one. I'm just a man, I screamed. The joyful buzz of the crowd died down in an instant. As the very air seemed to freeze, the people below looked at me with astonishment. Unable to bear the gaze, I mustered all my strength to flee the place. And then everyone died. What followed was hell itself. I fled the facility using the powers I had been given to destroy the outer walls. I made my way outside naturally. The organization responsible for my birth attempted to hunt me down, but their efforts ultimately proved fruitless. The people revolted, driven by crippled hopelessness. They stormed the gates of the research facility. You lied to us! How dare you! Despicable liars, cheats, every one last of you! Their crushed hopes amplified their despair, tearing down all obstacles in their way. The enraged mob massacred the researchers. Once their bloody work was done, they began to turn on each other, killing everyone in sight. And all the people around the world who saw these events unfolded through the media ended up igniting the flames of war once again. However, the war differed from those preceding it. This was not the result of mere irritation. Rather, the reason was rather in fact that they simply given up on the world as a whole. And so people kept killing and killing, murdering everyone in their sight. But they family or loved ones. In a sense, those who chose not to kill faced in one's harsher fate. They ceased to function, and they stopped moving, going to school or work. They even stopped eating, and eventually they simply perished. Revolts soon popped up at the very parts of the globe. Weapons of mass destruction were unleashed, nuclear missiles rained down upon continents, and automatic nuclear retaliation gave birth to the kind of chaos and turmoil the world had yet to experience. God damn. World leaders once appointed to the guide of the people committed suicide. Some of the smiles on their face, with tears running down their cheeks. Some simply succumbed to the rage and murdered impulse. It was at the end of the world as we know it. With everything...
I really hope Razzle gets a flashback now so that I can read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I could stop reading.
Yeah, you need to stop.
I'm like, my throat is dry. I was like, I can't breathe. No leader to rely on. There was no need for even guidance. Love were deemed a wicked illusion. Childbirth a grave sin. I was like, I need some water. The world rapidly hurried towards its own demise. I was there watching it all unfold. I ran and ran as far as I could go. I unconsciously headed for the countryside in Scotland where Naru lived. According to her personal file, I have been living quiet secluded ever since her diminished from the research institute. However, when I got there, I found her home in complete ruin. Oh no.
Oh, so you did come.
A faint smile lingered in her lips as she leaned against the wall of debris. Naru?
You have to keep your voice down.
Why is she wearing a robe? Of course they killed her. As I rushed closer, I covered her lips in the index finger. Her blood was dark in hue. She had almost like she had liver damage. Drops of blood bubbled in her mouth as she spoke. Signs of a punctured lung, no doubt. Regardless, one thing was painfully clear. She was dying and did not have much time left. Naru muttered a painful smile.
You ended up destroying this world. Let the images of ruin burn into your eyes. Feel the flames on your skin. Hear the echo of the end times. Don't turn your back and ignore it. Take it all in.
Is this you?
Man, this will be me standing on the precipice of just victory and just staring at the world I destroyed and just being like, I did that.
Cough, cough.
Look at what you did.
You want that image?
Good job. Sure.
Just death.
Okay.
You got it? I can't.
This isn't a question of can or can't. Do it.
But this isn't. This isn't my fault. I wanted to say those words, but for some reason couldn't. Knowing that once I entered it, something in me would cease to be.
I know what you're thinking. That this world was a ticking time bomb, and you're right. Ours was a frail world that needed only the tiniest of sparks to detonate. But the one who caused that spark was you. Even if it was the leaders of our undefeated government that made you that way, in the end, you carried out the deed.
I never wished for this to happen. I simply wanted to resist the overwhelming pressure I felt. Naru gently hugged her, dug her fingers in my hair.
I know it's not your fault. It's really not, but it is your responsibility to bear, as complicated as it may be.
I held her hand in mine, clutching it tightly. What was I to do? The one thought dominated my mind. I was confused, stricken with pain. She would soon die, there was no doubt about it. Was I to fight until the very end and try to save her? Or was there something else for me to do? Damn it all. Endless ignorance, blind to everything. I'm so sorry. The tears came without warning. I attempted to hold them back, but couldn't. I was afraid my body turned into something I would no longer recognize, afraid of shedding tears.
Don't cry, Satsuna.
Naru produced a final, apologetic smile, and died. I was unable to grant her final wish, cradling Naru's lifeless body in my arms. I continued to cry, the tears welled forth, without end. Is one of the viewers you?
Nope.
Yay, we have 2 viewers.
Viewers, comment and freak them out.
My memories of what followed were vague at best. The world ended closer to its destruction at a rapid pace, but at the end, it fell to a languid state of decline. Both the people who kept killing each other and those who looked on lives all died. The only kind of people left were those who simply watched in complete inaction, as a fellow man died in front of their eyes. Gasoline explosions, charred the skies, filling it with raging fire. The moans of those trapped in flames would hear the distance. However, they would no longer be with the will to even scream. I took to wandering, moving from place to place, as I hoped to run into someone to help, someone who still had the will to live. However, all the people who had once long since died. It only surprised me, after all, the people who still held on to life no doubt they tried to stop the massacring of their fellow sentences and were killed in the process. It was my responsibility. I wandered the desolate streets, witnessing my own eyes as 10 billion lives were eroded to zero. They all died, killed by me. I drove them to their deaths. I would no longer cry tears, only filled me with guilt. I continued to wander, my expression a hollow mass, devoid of emotion. And death would bring no relief. So I pressed on, holding on life, the reality of what I had done continued to gnaw away at my heart. In the end, I collapsed in front of a building consumed by fire. I gave my body to the ground, waiting for death's hour to strike. Each of 10 billion people on the planet had an ID number engraved in their body, displaying the life signals of information terminal. Just now, all those signals disappeared. Till the very end, I couldn't save a single life. I couldn't carry out my duty, far from it, in fact. With nothing left to do, I had to turn to a relic of a bygone age. One day, extraterrestrials would come visit this planet, or another species might evolve and gain intelligence. Either way, there was no longer my place to interfere, so I decided to simply lay down and wait for death without fulfilling the end, devoid of hope and despair. As I lay there, ready to accept my fate, I witnessed a scene out of this world.
Oh, I think that's Lilith, isn't it?
Okay.
I think she said that.
Probably.
Hey, you still alive?
Impossible. Yes, it was indeed. I looked up, and the eyes of a young girl, her locks glistened, the flames surrounding us. She adjusted her long hair, a glint of titanium reflected in her movements as she locked gazes with me. She seemed not a bit concerned with the end of the world. Her tone carried not a shred of urgency. The other girl glanced in my direction from behind the dark-haired one, observed me with vacant, uninterested gaze. Of course.
Come, take my hand. I'll show you a world more terrifying than the depths of hell, more dazzling than the light of heaven. Tokyo Babel awaits you, soaring in the rift between earth and the heavens.
Sorry.
I love Lilith.
I was
I
thinking.
missed you, Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
You fixed my accent.
How so?
Because when I do the Razzle accent, I just fail at covering my accent entirely. And then Lilith is just so beyond what I sound like that it's just like fixed.
Mm-hmm. Very well. I trusted them. I believed them. Were they who they claimed to be? That they were angels and a demon. I believed every last word that they spoke. Yes, Itsuna. For all that, I once again changed the way I talk. In accordance with the newly gained mission, I would travel to Tokyo Babel, and hunt down angels and demons and mortal alike. I was not an ordinary human, far from it. I would have been born of fortunate circumstances, yet the support I received was not so. I could not live out my life as an everyday person. But here in this world, I had nothing more than a mortal man, and had strayed slightly from his path. How does Lilith know about his path, but not Razzle?
What are those little triangles in the lake?
What?
Like the 3 little outside triangles. What are those?
You mean the prisms?
Pyramids, whatever. Okay, what are they?
I said prisms, not. Do you know what a prism is?
Yeah, it's the thing that refracts light.
Yeah. That. I'm assuming that's the gravitation thing that keeps it afloat. I don't know.
Mm.
Did I read this already? No.
Yes.
But, oh, did I?
Yes.
Okay. Which is why I held Tokyo Babel so dear, loving it with all my heart and soul. I would lay down my very life to save it. There was a conclusion I had arrived at, and in a way, I still lived my life even now. Wow. Finally back.
That was the flashback. That took forever. I feel so bad. Razzle, have a flashback.
I'm hungry. Once put into words, my life was actually a very brief affair. Razzle parted her lips to say something, but no words came. This must have been too much for her to take all at once. She nodded, averted her gaze from mine, then returning it in a few moments. For a brief period of time, she gazed deep into my eyes.
I'm fine.
Concerned Angela. You have that image, right?
Yes.
Okay. The fact I caught no glimpse of any disgust on her face filled me with inexplicable relief. I harbored feelings of friendship, or possibly something more, towards Razzle. Ooh! I mean, what? If asked whether there existed a feeling between friendship and love, I would have no doubtly produced a confused smile. I had no idea, nor did I felt something this ambiguous, but this much I would say with certain. I did enjoy the company of Lilith, Sormy, Cameo, and Bethiel. Hey, where's Razzle?
Well, he's with Razzle.
Yeah, but I was like, I did enjoy the company of person. I was like, it would have been good to include her in there. Or is he gonna say, but her, I could not live without? I feel like...
Well, press enter.
Cough, cough. I harbored towards Razzle was something ever so slightly different, though. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking. As such, when I saw her expression lacking any hint of disgust, I felt overcome by relief.
Setsuna, are you...
Razzle seemed hesitant to ask a question, but ultimately did so anyway.
Are you human?
Yeah, because you need a human for the pilgrimage, and if Setsuna doesn't identify as human, Sarmi is the only person they can join.
Sarmi has to do it then.
Yeah. Technically, because like he was like, "Oh, I'm not a god," and I was like, that's when he like lowered himself to human status. But if he himself does not identify as a human, then he is not. You understand? I gazed up at the sea and letting my eyes wander across its wooden texture. Hard to say, I do not wish to live as a human. I do wish to live as a human, that much I know.
You wish to live as one.
Ooh, that's a bad answer. Yes, you see, I only have a few more years to live. I had just revealed something of critical importance.
What?
Razzle stared back at me, completely dumbfounded. I'm someone who lives in the moment, a transcendent being. Naturally, I wasn't ever meant to simply just die. All my memories would have been implanted to the next unit. The next tender Setsuna extended my life. Oh shit, they probably killed all the Setsuna clones.
They did. Now I can see why what happens, because I didn't know why, because I skipped over this bit, but I can see why.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. My life was a tremendous consented compared to that of a normal human. My body was normal, lived that of 80 years, would be discarded in only 4. Only my so-called soul, or something resembling it, would be carried into the next host. Such a method would grant me my eternal life. I would have to continue to live on a makeshift god till the end of time.
So, does that mean...
Yes, I will die. Right now. I meant exactly what she thought. Everything I did now, so I had to accomplish it as soon as possible before being discarded. Lilith sent me into battle with full knowledge of this, and I continued to fight, intoxicated by the thought. Yeah, Lilith knew everything.
Lilith knows everything about everything, and she just doesn't bother saying.
Mm-hmm. But Razzle knows everything, she just forgot it all.
Mm-hmm.
Such is the nature of our contract.
Satsuna, are you truly content with this? Isn't this just too...
weird? I would be granted neither reward nor redemption. That is what she was trying to tell me. There is no greater honor I could think of. After all, it can be of help to someone, to the entire world. Is there any mission more worthy of being celebrated? That alone had been reward in itself. Despite shouldering an irredeemable sin, I would have been able to save others. I no longer desire to become God. The role is entirely too overwhelming. Am I a human, though, or something else? Just as angels and demons would never become humans, I, who possibly being not entirely human, would not deny that possibility as well. Are you feeling and thoughts I harbor not those of a human? Razzle, what... Oh wait, did Razzle say that? No, that's still me.
Nope.
Why was that so Razzle sounding? I was like, okay. Something to wait.
She does have a weird cadence, but...
On my mind, with the longest time, was I human or something else? Hey, it's your image. The more I dwelled on it, the farther I drifted from the conclusion, as I found myself caught in an endless soup of thoughts. Razzle suddenly embraced my head.
It's so warm.
Are you... She whispered gently in my ears.
Satsuna, I'm an angel, and a fairly naive one at that, so my answer may not be the best one there is. Are you okay with that?
I'm certain your answer is the right one.
Satsuna, you're who you want to be, human, non-human, angel, or demon. I believe you could become whatever your heart desired.
Okay, I'm not gonna answer what I was thinking right now. I was like, what I desire. Despite her hesitation, there was a genuine, earnest reflection in her angel's gaze.
And no matter who you become, in the end, you'll still be you. You'll always be Satsuna, nothing more and nothing less. I'm starting to lose track of my own train of thought, though.
Ooh, me. It's fine. I more or less understood what you meant. Ooh, you.
Yes, more or less understood.
In short, I could only exist as me, even if I could only be a machine or a cyborg or whatever else. Okay, I'm not gonna finish. The question of whether or not I could become who I wanted to be filled me with uncertainty. But I knew I would at least attempt to approach the ideal. Sormi would no doubtly say something along the lines of,
Act first, worry later.
That's me.
worry and worry and worry and worry and worry and then act.
Yeah, except I do exactly what you just said. And she would flash that usual dazzling smile of her too. Wait, what was that certain pain in my arm? She was like, It's like, you better not be thinking about someone else. She pinched me. I glanced to my side, taking notes of Razzle's visibly sulky mood. This is you, like, I have...
Okay.
Did you read it?
I remember that. Yeah, I remember seeing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you sitting all alone in the music room without music? Oh, Lord.
Because she's her, of course. What else should we be doing?
You were imagining something weird, weren't you?
No, not in particular. Her expression grew more grim. I could practically make out the fire in her eyes. You!
No, you were. I'm sure you were.
This is you.
Alright, give me like 2 seconds. Because 1, I want to take a screenshot of this. And 2, I want to go do something. And I feel like it's a bad idea.
I'm gonna go get a cookie. Because I'm hungry and I need to satiate this something.
Because that's a better idea than what I'm about to do. Okay.
What are you gonna do?
Discord
Type it
sound
in.
is on.
Okay.
Discord sound is on.
Okay. You want me to mute the stream? I'm gonna mute. I is back. But are you? I don't know. I wasn't. I only imagined what it'd be like if Sarmi was. Ow, that hurt. In particular, I felt my arm being forcefully pinched by her nails, yet the sensation ended up more ticklish than anything.
It was weird.
What's weird?
And awkward. And
Why?
Weird.
Why?
So I just show up and she's just like, yes. And then I'm like, hi. And she's like, and I'm like, hi. I just wanted to say hi because I'm streaming, but I wanted to say hi, which is the truth. And then she's just like, You
should have said you seem lonely.
That's what I was going to say, but I left before then.
You should type it and say that.
I feel like she'll take offense to that. Okay, continuing.
Okay.
And why, if I may ask, would you think about Sorme at a time like this? Yes, telepath.
Why? I feel like you would do this. Would you not?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I would. I totally would. I'd be like,
I'm right here.
This is my moment, not yours, Sormik.
You see.
Tell me why.
You.
I feel like I want to make that my icon, but then again, I'll just keep it anyways.
Okay. I left screenshot mode.
Okay.
I'm gonna open up this bag of hot Cheetos as loud
I like
as
her
possible.
little earring.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that, but I don't have my ears pierced.
Oh, just get a clip-on earring. Like you get those like it's like I used to like get those like a child. It's like, oh, it's like a thing, and then you put it on. It's like you don't have to get it pierced, but like slips onto your ear, and then it's like but it's like a little flashlight. Like it'll glow. I said nothing.
You said something.
Razzle pressed her tone left me somewhat flustered. In any case, after an apology, I explained the situation to her. Flashback.
Did you know angels, and not just Razzle, are surprisingly envious by nature?
Oh. Well,
You go, Lewis.
Well, you are an angel. Lilith spoke with a soothing tone of a female presenter during a government broadcast.
Yep, that's a government broadcast right there. It would be more like, did you know that angels and not just Razzle are envious by nature? And I'm here at, the BBC, and next show is Downton Abbey. See you in a few moments.
Where you watch the BBC?
Yes, I watch the BBC.
I see. I wish she could have told me that earlier, though. Wait, did she tell her that telepathically, or what's going on?
I don't know.
Much earlier. Once I had asserted that Razzle was no longer angry, I decided to speak up. Shall we keep moving, then? Razzle nodded. She seemed to be back to her usual cheery self. I sighed with relief, then immediately thought to myself something pathetic for that. We left... Sorry. The sushi shop and returned to the streets. The gate data for the 6th stratum would not be somewhere in the vicinity. Spotting that was first order of business. Razzle halted in her steps, sniffing the air while covering her nose in disgust.
What is the smell?
Probably death.
Death and destruction.
I immediately noticed myself the stench of rotten food. The fish is all gone bad. With a disgusted grimace, I picked up the rod and poked one of the nearby fish, accompanied with the slime surround. The abdomen melted away. The yellowish liquid gushed from the fish, revealing the decomposed interior. No doubt about it had run away.
But these are all fresh just until a short while ago.
Oh, it's the plague. There's no way of knowing how time flowed in this world. It was definitely possible time had stopped until we arrived here. But these fish were suddenly all fresh until a while ago. Fish were quick to spoil, but not this quick. The realization presented 2 clear points of danger. First, if we continue to inhale this air, heavy with this stench of rotten fish, it will make us sick. This place held thousands and thousands of fish. Having all of them spoil at the same time would produce an air that might be, well, toxic. Still, that itself was hardly a monumental problem. We could easily burn the fish with fire, or use the wind to clear the miasma. Either way, the problem we couldn't solve. The real issue was the second problem. These fish were not rotten until a while ago. That much is a fact. Their stench is nearly unbearable now, compared to how it used to be. Couldn't have Setsuna eaten all the fish before it rotted? But too late for that. Yet there was here now, rotting away. In any case, the chances of the enemy ambush was extremely high.
Setsuna, prepare for combat.
Razu knew what she was doing, waiting no time to ready herself for combat. Just as I was about to brandish the piquant sword, I realized the fact that I had lost it. Well, no matter. Wait. Didn't Setsuna keep the sword in a pocket dimension? Razu, I do not need it. If I don't need it, then I have the sword from before.
Oh, is it Mika's sword?
Probably.
Sure.
Razu pulled out the sword from her pocket dimension and handed it to me. I gave it a light swing. I detected no visible problems. The blade was strong, yet slight, and although it did not quite measure up to the Count's sword, I could tell it held more than enough magic power to be available for regular combat.
It doesn't come in with any special properties, but at least it should be at least it should be easy to handle.
According to my assumptions, making a catalyst out of the sword and imbuing it with the magic would be able to greatly amplify its prowess and constantly expand my combat options as well. Thank you. We should assume the same positions we
Joined.
Ah!
What was that?
Someone. We did during the fight with
Who's
Uriel.
someone? Question.
Mark Lowe.
Hi.
I'll take the lead while you watch my back.
Understood. And be careful.
Enemies here. Snake eggs. Oh gosh. Something burst out of the abdomen of the rotten fish. The snake, I evaded this animal's lunge, and I sliced its head off with one swing. As it convulsed on the floor, I took note of how big it was.
A rattlesnake?
And not only one either. Oh shoot. They both watched in terror of countless snakes all burst from inside the abdomen of the fish. It was a repulsive sight, no question about it. Aside from the poisonous in nature, all snakes displayed clear hostility towards us.
Setsuna, can you produce antibodies to combat their venom?
Yes, I nodded. My body's meant to keep alive for eternity. I can easily combat the venom of any snake that lived on Earth. Whether or not these snakes were like that, or another matter entirely.
Glad to hear that. On the other hand, I may in fact have a weakness to snake venom myself.
Okay. How come?
I am the head of the thrones, and above the thrones is the hierarchy, and this, and the hierarchy are the seraphs, who are also referred to as winged serpents of fire.
I did not recall the story about gods and fiery serpents to punish the people of Moses for complaining.
For complaining?
Here, fire serpents.
I don't remember that.
Dot.
So someone like me who acts as an intermediary, well, I'm not very good with snakes. I have never touched one, nor have I ever been bitten.
I was going to suggest that an angel would surely be fine in such a case, but the snakes in the stratum are certainly no ordinary specimens. Very well, I will make sure to keep you safe.
Thank you. I wanted to hear you say that.
Yeah. Following Razzle's words of gratitude, she mouthed another phrase under her breath. One I couldn't quite make out due to having most of my attention focused on snakes. It would not have been anything important. Alright, first off, Oh no, battle music. I take to the skies. How did you know?
I've heard the music.
The moment I pushed myself to the ground, the snakes lurched after me and pursued at once. Once I gathered them all in one place, I began to burn them with ashes. Inokagutsuchi, God of Flames.
Who the heck is... Oh. New people.
I have an dude.
Hi.
Hello. Hey, ghost.
PTV excited.
Yay! Having endued Razzle's blade with fire burnt in the machines, I poured through more magic steel before releasing it all. Every single serpent slid through burning cinders in the blink of an eye. The smell of scorched flesh mingled with the stench of decay, paralyzing the sense of smell.
Purposely apprehension, Earth level 2.
Once
It
the
looks like she's shouting it, but I can't, so...
Is it because of people?
Yep.
Once the scattered flames had contacted the ground, they began to burn with renewed ferocity. Oh.
Did she just kill them all?
Probably.
I took the concept of consolidation. Yep. From the earthware and added it to the fire. Once the snakes touch the flames, they will continue to burn until their demise.
Wow. Never-ending flames.
Yep, just fire.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a bit too brutal, but let's hope they make it to Nirvana in one piece. Nirvana. I love Nirvana though.
Nirvana.
They think that Nirvana's a real place? That's interesting. ...
PTV laugh.
What?
The person said, well, they emoted laughter.
Yes, my laugh of she doesn't know how to pop culture. I don't know how to pop culture.
Just as Razzle predicted.
Nirvana now.
All the snakes met to their end amidst the flames. The moment they left.
Joined.
Hello, bosom. On the other hand, there was the angel who supposedly say something like Nirvana.
It's Nirvana. Clearly, another eye. It's clearly Nirvana.
Nirvana. Good. We should get out of here. Wow. Impossible. The snake's still on fire. Leapt towards us in pursuit. Holy sh! Fire snakes!
Razzle, kill them.
Their gapped mouths spanked the dark liquid in our direction. I blocked it with my right arm, but the moment I did, the liquid began eating at my clothes. Oh, acid spit. I spun to the left, delivering roundhouse kick, followed by a quick slash, another blunt strike prominent to my sword. Unable to withstand the series of strikes, the snake fell to the ground. They came lunging back in a mere seconds. There was no end to the numbers, nor can I locate the culprit who summoned them. A blasted hole in the sea and soared outside, heading towards the clouds. The skies were vivid blue, short a while ago had turned gray. Green? I don't know.
It's gray, I guess. Does it look green to you?
Greenish tint?
Yep, that's the color blind. I can't tell at all. It just looks gray.
Yeah, it could be gray.
Unbelievable.
A grim shade of gray.
A master must have begun encroaching on this stratum. That would explain the sudden change in scenery. We have to find and defeat them as soon as possible.
I suppose this isn't the time to be looking for an exit.
Exactly. Once we defeat whoever took over this stratum...
A terrifying goggle of beasts resembling the decrepit cries of newborn child resounded the skies. Who's there?
Who's
Oh,
What this visual novel?
the thing?
it's called Tokyo Babel. Hey, it's
Oh,
girl.
Is girl child.
It's girl child.
Yeah, it's girl Samuel.
Yeah, that's her name.
Just girl child.
An innocent-looking little girl revealed herself to us. She rode atop a colossal basilisk. Her eyes glimmered with curiosity.
You're Samuel. Okay, what was the voice I did for her?
Insanity.
Hello, and welcome to the fifth stratum, my very own death market, where all living things decay, leaving only the monsters to survive. Go on, little Razzle, fly, run for your life.
Is this insane, Angela?
Yes. This is what happens when Angela murders people.
If you
So I'll just be like, yes, go.
run away as I chase you down.
You won't be able to run for long.
If you truly meant to us to escape, I should not object.
Get ready for some bad news then. Razzle's an old friend, so I'm willing to help her out. You, on the other hand, I have no use for fools like you.
Oh, that's mean. Samuel may have been all smiles, but her thirst for blood was near palpable in the air. She would really help Razzle, though. I would have loved to hear her, but this is Samuel after all. The crimson serpent who tempted Adam and Eve with the fruits of knowledge, and left their exile from paradise, a fallen angel, rivaled Lucifer himself in power. Would someone like that's willing to help Razzle, simply because the two of them were once brethren? Impossible. Perhaps Samuel had a reason to prevent her from killing Razzle, but not me. Something she had, but I didn't. An easy to comprehend difference between us, other than one of us being a mortal man and other an angel.
So, what now?
The Sefer Razel. Samuel froze in place the moment I uttered the words. She shrugged, wondering if she had a bit too much.
Yeah, right. It's that book I want. You see, I'd like to have Razzle's decrypt. Okay, yeah, decrypt it for me.
Wait, how do you not know what decrypt is? You decrypt?
I know it's decrypt. I see decrypt, and then I'm like, it's decrypt, but then I'm like, nah.
Alright.
Decrypt it? Yep, I mean, we can't read that thing. You wrote it using an encryption method only you can understand.
And then we gave it to people, so no one understood anything. Samuel admitted that she had once read a portion of it. However, the bits that she interested the most were the ones that had krypton on the hardest to unravel.
Hey, real quick, look at Russell's eyes, and then look at Samuel's eyes, and then just imagine Samuel's eyes blue, and then you have Russell's eyes.
Would that just mean, child? Razzle?
It's just child eyes. It's like, it's just the same model.
Sure.
They have like the same eyebrows, and it's creepy.
What's it called? Don't you see that Samuel has a more chubby face?
Yeah, her face is chubbier, but her eyes are the same. Well, that. I see how it is. You have no memories of the time you wrote it, right? Don't worry, though. I'm gonna make you remember, even if I have to do it by force.
Is that something you would do? Even if Samuel did help Razzle, that was hardly her ultimate goal. Not like I expected anything good from her. Samuel, what's written in the Sefer Razzle? The fallen angel let out a giggle.
I may be a fallen angel and an ally to mankind, but don't expect me to spill all the beans. Besides, one could say you're a distant relative of that monster.
Oh, that's monster.
You're supposed to be a god, no?
No.
Okay, let me correct myself. You're a cheap imitation of that thing. The false god.
Yaldabaoth?
Yaldabaoth.
Samuel's words probed something deep within me, biting into my lip. I averted my gaze. I would not rebuke her.
Setsuna, look straight ahead.
Following by brief instruction, Razo ended up taking my hands in hers. I could feel it trembling.
So you're not gonna come along nicely? Of course not. Simeas, there's something I should have told you back when we were both angels.
Samia cocked her head in surprise. Razo glared deep into her fallen angel's eyes. Ooh.
I despise you.
Wow.
Stop coughing.
I think you know what I wrote. I mean, said. Starts with a D. Samuel clasped her hands together.
I see. I guess there's not much else to discuss then. This place is a vacant stratum. It only belonged to Beelzebub and his followers who had since perished at Pandora. It's a teeny tiny problem, though. The way back to Pandora was destroyed. In other words, you have no choice but to keep going.
By defeating you in the process. Samuel's eyes twitched for a moment, having no doubt found my bold act of provocation highly insulting. She seemed to be attacked due to the anger and unable to hide her feelings almost like a child.
Defeat? Like, defeat me? The hell? And here I was, willing to even let you go. You had obediently handed Razzle over.
Don't be ridiculous. You're as cowardice as you're cruel. You'd never have allowed me to leave such a place alive. Samuel flashed her wolfish grin at my words.
What's so bad about being a coward?
Nothing. It's a terrifying trait you have. Cowardice meant the person in question was exceedingly vigilant, unable to sense danger far ahead of others. Being a coward would certainly help one achieve victory.
My cowardice is part of my strategy. I tear you to pieces, then take off with Razzle and have her brainwashed for my purpose. Yep, that one's the plan that I get behind. Let's do it. So I kill you, and then I take her, and then I brainwash her into loving me and serving me, and that's how we do it. It's a great plan.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Angela.
I'm everyone. Literally all of them.
She uttered the words with the innocence of a child, then proceeded to pat her basilisk in the head.
Come on, Whiskey. It's your turn to shine.
Well, battle time.
Yeah, battle time.
Battle music, initiate.
Battle music initiate.
The basilisk's eyes flashed bright as let out tremendous bowel. I merely ran to my backup data and anti-purification vaccine and began synthesizing right now. Surprised, the petrifying gaze proven in effect against me, the basilisk took a step backwards. Brandishing my sword, I lunged straight towards the monstrosity.
He doesn't even have a sword anymore. They're too lazy to draw the sword.
Samuel vaulted back into Basilisk, indicating that she would only observe the fight once it subsides. Having shrugged off the initial surprise, the Basilisk stepped forwards, cheek and swelling large, and spat a dose of purple-colored venom. I lunged out towards evading the attack. The ground began to immediately melt and corrode away the moment I came in contact with the venomous liquid. The smell of white glass it produced irritated my eyes, yet I could still see something swift beyond the smoky veil. I thrusted my hand to the ground, turned it up like a shield as to initiate the sizzle of corroded filled my ears. I then sent my shield flying with a kick before I could completely melt away, successfully smashing a large piece of asphalt into the basilisk's head. As the basilisk set out to ear-piercing squeak, I ran to the wall and pushed myself away, swiftly landing behind the monster. The beast's head flailed abruptly left to right, searching for its prey. "Over here!" Guided by my voice, the basilisk turned its head to my direction, only to have my steel imbued with the magical properties of air bite clean into its eyes. The monster bellowed again, with its air trembling in its cries.
Shut up!
Razzle shot a pillar of water oversized lizard's throat, seeming to irritate it to cease its bowing.
Just firing water at it. Just
Yeah. Water pistol! Boop boop!
Water pistol!
I let out a second akin to a frog being squashed. I wasted no time in drawing closer to it, slicing the tan clean off and swing to Razzle's sword. His petrifying gaze rendered useless, the basilisk had no more than a lizard spewing venom, other than opponents that would pose any threat.
Holy cow! You offed him in less than 10 minutes!
The decapitated basilisk sat at ear Samuel, still convulsing in death, without showing any particular concern for the beast. Samuel kicked it aside with tremendous force.
Real quick, next time Razzle does that water thing, I just going to imagine her taking out the tiniest water pistol in the world, holding it with both hands like Mercy, and then going off. Pew, pew, pew.
That's hilarious.
I don't need weak pets.
The basilisk crashed with the nearby concrete wall, splattered its venomous blood all over the place. "Are you done now, Samuel?" A fallen angel knit her brows with a provocational tone.
Don't be all casual with me. It makes me feel like there's a bunch of cockroaches crawling all over my face. Ugh, I'm getting sick now. Maybe I should peel off all the skin from that pretty little face of yours.
I ignored her attempts with grotesque imitation. I acted merely as a manifestation of her explosive bloodlust, as at the end of the day I meant so precious little. Which I little would respond in the way I did. "Samuel, if that's all you could muster, you're nothing more than a small fry." I topped it off with a mocking smile. Oh, damn, Setsuna. I was like, oh, now you're gonna die.
How dare you? How dare you?
Samuel pulled her own death scythe.
Death scythe?
Yeah, death scythe. I was like, I have food.
It's like the other swords are called like Mika's sword and Ushva's sword, and then Uriel's fire sword, and then death scythe.
A terrifying weapon with the sculpture of a twin-headed snake coiled in its handle. Despite the
Want stay watch PTV sad, but have work ors.
Alright, cool. See you later. Hope you come back and see the rest of us. You come back and watch this on YouTube. Search Group of Pine Cones, and you can watch this episode there. See you later.
And all the other episodes.
Yes. Hopefully you'll come back later. I mean, next time. Despite the scythe appearing too large for some of Samuel's structure, the fallen angel wielded it with unmatched skill. Samuel rode it, breathing gradually softened, and stomped off.
Night.
Good night. You see the visible terror in me.
Yeah,
And-
that's me every time I get a notification on Discord. It's like,
Mhm.
oh lord.
And then her gaze found mine. The very air around us chilled. Her pride, fury was nowhere to be seen now. A gaze glance she threw at my nearby flames, the very same ones she used to serpent, extinguishing them in an instant.
You've been a very bad boy, Tinder.
What channel name?
And you need to be punished.
The channel name is Group of Pine Cones. Search it on YouTube.
Oh look, her eyes look like snakes now.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy.
Group of Pine Cones. All together. Do, 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 do. Is there a way to stream faster? Because I know there is. I just forgot how to do it.
Hey.
Hello! Why would you type that? Like you purposely made me think there's someone there.
Hey.
Hey. Did you read that?
Yes.
Well. Our terror now lacked its previous fury, content with even playfulness, instead of writing clear and collectful declaration of war. In order to discover the being, that is demon, angels, or humans, raison d'être. I'd at once carefully observe how they acted given under circumstances. Their mental state and personality modifications.
Back.
Determine the form of the weapons they would take. Adele used the manifestation of rejection, while Uriel did the same with righteous fury. At first I thought her hot-blooded and short-tempered seemed cunning, yet ultimately simple. But it was what she showed on the surface. Samuel disguised herself with countless different masks. The innocent maiden, the short-tempered vixen, the cold, level-headed hunter I face now. That must be what's her true face, or perhaps that was all three at once. Sure!
Thanks. That's like the weird thing where it's like, yeah.
The freak was that?
It's my fighting sound.
Okay.
Because I can't make fighting sounds, so I'm just like, yeah!
That's a fighting sound. Samuel's sharp hiss battle momentarily drowned out the sound of the vicinity. Her shape grew hazy, vanishing in the sight. I searched the flow of magic and detected activity to the right. As I spun towards to the slash at her, Samuel deflected.
Cattled.
Caggled. Hello, Kadiri. Samuel deflected my blow with a single strike, then proceeded to instantly send the flying bash to her sight steel handle. Her sight sword tore the ground like hot knife through butter, and attempted to deliver a slash towards my face.
It's me, Angela.
It's me, Angela! After evading a few slices, the sight...
Just Angela.
Yes, just Angela. Only Angela. Just Angela.
Everyone spam just Angela in the chat. Go!
The sight inadvertently bit in my cheek, sending vine spurs of fresh blood out its veins it severed. Holy sh... I set
It's
my...
a death scythe.
Yeah, of course. So much blood. That's what you're gonna be seeing. I set my nano machines to work, coagulating blood vessels around the veins, consequently halting the bleeding. I swiped off the remaining blood in my palm, poured magic into it, and sent drops flying towards Samuel. The frozen drops of blood, now endued with magic, possess the same strength as a blade of steel.
Ah!
Yes, the crimson projectiles gazed Samuel on the cheek. I sped through the air, using the moment to flee, but Samuel hot and heels. Razzle in the meantime positioned herself both of us. In other words, the enemy was now exposed or back to Razzle. This did not need to take an eye contact to communicate, though. Telepathy Razzle knew what to do.
Fire.
She summoned numerous wooden wheels clad in fire, sent them towards Samael. Without even a glance of the wheels, single glance, Samael simply looked into my eyes, flashing a wicked smile.
Oh, that's that thing from the Dante's Paradiso where they're like wheels that are on fire that are covered in eyes. Like that's literally what some of the angels are.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to backstab an unaware foe. Our precious little angels quite why can I not say that? Don't you think?
Craven?
Yeah, Craven.
And she swung her arm backwards, instantly annihilating one of the pursuing wheels. If it wasn't enough, she also lunged towards the blade of her scythe between the two wheels spokes in order to hurl it away. The flame wheel bore the name of Throne. Its magical prowess exceeded that of Bechiel's flame pillars. It was considered only the amount of magical energy released this one particular attack here. It certainly was superior to Bechiel's.
Yeah, that's because Razzle's a better angel.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, Bechiel is a demon, but yes.
She's just a more powerful magical being, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it.
In other words, if it let it hit me, I was good as dead, reduced to burning cinder. I wasted not a split second to come to a decision. My god of might, Takagawa! I would first tap into my powers created through science and amplify it with magic. I need to calculate the vector, wait only to the right time, then strike. Samuel followed the wheel trajectory with the gaze blown through violence in the air. Spotting bits and pieces torn asphalt in my vicinity, I delivered a kick, sending the crash straight to Samuel's face. Samuel brandished the scythe. In defense, I responded by unleashing air magic to rob the vicinity of sound, then slipped past the angel's raging typhoon of slashes. Got you. Samuel's lips contorted to a sneer.
Exclamation point.
Her tiny feminine feet clashed into my abdomen with ferocity. Samuel's kick was powerful enough to completely ignore the magical defense I erected. Unable to withstand the attack, I tumbled limp to the ground.
Take this!
A few consecutive slashes in the slice chopped the airborne wheel into tiny pieces, which proceeded to rain down upon us like tiny meteorites. The crimson petals of fire dispersed as they melted on our bodies. My distance was Samuel was less than 30 centimeters from the point.
Ah! Twin serpents of bronze and fire! Don't know what tone that is. Oh, that's the battle tone. Got it.
Mm-hmm. As Samuel Razzle attempted to hurry my way, Samuel summoned two massive snakes, one clad in flames, the other in bronze. Cough, cough.
No, yeah, it's her death scythe.
Mm-hmm. One of the very weary serpent gods sent to the people of Moses to punish them for their idleness, while the bronze snake came in order to stand up against it.
No, that's to punish them for their obnoxiousness.
Mm-hmm.
God was just mad.
Mm-hmm. He does that.
No. But with more feeling that I can't scream because sleeping.
Suggestional poses.
Yeah.
The bronze beast coiled with Razzle's body, entangling her at this ironclad, twin-stood god's an impenetrable wall.
Considering Razzle's strength, how about 3 minutes,
Razzle slowly turned her face our way. Our difference in heights had suddenly been reversed. I felt into my knees and looked over to the sky above.
In 3 minutes, I'm gonna kill you. And once I've done that, I'll take my sweet time in remolding Razzle's mind.
Angela.
Stop coughing, Angela. I would only do this under certain circumstances like the ones happening right now.
Blind. She's never gonna watch this. And Samuel lets out a faint giggle. She gently lets out the edge of her
Tell her to
sling.
never watch this.
Oh, she's gonna watch this. A science blade touched my neck. 20 seconds. The fallen angel stared at me in confusion.
20 seconds? You mean how long it'll take for Razzle to escape?
No, it's the amount of time I need to crush you.
Not a bad joke if I do say so myself. Just one little problem with it. Can it be apparent human like you survive his head being separated from his body?
Yes. Considering Setsuna. She held... Watch him just be like Deadpool and just place his head back on his head.
Yeah.
Well, he is a god. He technically, if he's part reptile, just head gets decapitated, his body still moves. Or a cockroach. She held her sharp, rigid steel aloft to her lips, contorting into a twisted smile, eyes shooting wide open.
Or will you simply die like a wretched animal drowned in its own tears? Will you let me find out? Will you?
I would not make it in time. Though the raw speed I could close our distance in mere seconds yet. That will only bring her dead sight down upon my head in less than that. The fallen angel Sama would easily capable of such a feat, in which case I use the time to exceed your expectations. It all came down to timing, even against godlike speed. If one could properly read the opponent's movements, they would be intercepted. Even if blow was sluggish, a torcid advantage would land a clean hit unless the opponent saw it coming. God of Thunder, Takamichi Kazuchi! Transform each cell of my body into generators. I produce an electricity internally and amplified it through magic. The speed of my legs, the swing of my arms, the muscles in the rear, all gained 5 times their previous velocity.
There!
I closed the distance between myself and Samuel before she could bring her sight down. My combat style of choice was boxing, although I felt uncertain whether or not angels and fallen angels would have any vitals to strike. Either way, I had no time to lose. A blow to the solar plexus, another in the area of the liver. I just saw what you typed.
It's Amy, Angela.
It's me, Angela. Another in the area of the liver. The fierce blow strikes at the jaw. Samuel's body took the strikes. I jumped after her on top of it, delivered a kick to her throat, and sent her pulling me back to the God. Who kicks someone in the throat? That is terrible. Not even to your worst of enemies you do that. Gosh.
Actually, I have many plans to kick people in the throat.
Well, that's you. Quite lovely.
I have a knife on my shoe.
Ooh. I mean, what? I said nothing. A terrible clutch signaled the ravaged states of neck bones. I did not hesitate. Even if she appeared a frail young girl on the outside, Samuel was without a doubt a fallen angel who had lived several millennia. In fact, a blow like this mine hardly enough to kill her, but it was enough to make her black out, thus creating an opportunity for us.
Setsuna!
The opening was more than enough. I fled alongside Razzle, leaving the unconscious Samuel in the middle of the market floor. I knew the rotten fish would keep her company. Okay.
Fire!
We left Razzle scorch the entire marketplace, letting her sacred flame consume and return it to ash. Not to caress the simple leave, things like that. We both waiting in the city of the market, expecting Samuel to flee. We waited for what seemed like an eternity, yet she died, didn't she? She's not coming. We had certainly waited enough for her able to say that. Razzle too wore a puzzled expression.
I extinguished the flames. There's no way anyone could survive this with only minor injuries.
No, keep the flames going. She'll, like, disintegrate.
I think Razzle killed her.
Mm-hmm. Just burn the place to the ground.
Mm.
Razzle snapped her fingers, instantly banishing the flames with thrown. We secured the mountain of rubble that once this tea market. But found no trace of Samuel's body.
Found it, yes. Smiley face.
Hello, Robert Valenzuela.
Hello.
Are you the person that was on the... Were you Ghost? I'm assuming you're Ghost. Okay. Please subscribe. Oh goddamn, my shamefulness.
Subscribe, and then subscribe to my channel because
Yeah.
I stream Monica's After Story.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you go to channels, search up Queenie Sildo and subscribe to her because she'll post content eventually.
Yeah, I'll stream Monica's After Story, and I'll give helpful content related backstory on life.
All right.
If you want to see someone have a mental breakdown, watch my streams.
But no one found Samuel's body, only blanket marks on the ground. Unproved of any magical activity, proved fruitless. We did another search after blowing the rubble clean away, but no body this time either. Razzle may have excelled at detection, yet even she can admit that the only two living beings in the fifth dimension were us. In other words, Samuel must have perished for certain, in quotation marks, unless she teleported. She died easily without leaving a single trace behind, all too easily. Can you believe this? Razzle stared at the ground, hesitating for a few moments before speaking up.
I can't. Samuel was the very incarnation of the serpent, undying and unaging. Naturally, I wasn't certain if she'd retain her abilities here in Tokyo Babel, but
But she's nowhere to be found.
exactly, she's nowhere on this stratum. On the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if she found wouldn't be surprised to find out she survived. That's it.
I agree. Samuel would never perish from something of this caliber. Yet our magical search returned with no result, yet we had no reason to linger here. We left the marketplace behind, intent on finding the gates leading to the sixth stratum. Let's go then. Razzle, still seemingly uncertain of the facts, continued to gaze listlessly on the ruined market. Once I tapped on her shoulder, she gave me a curt nod and both of us in the sky.
I bet the sixth stratum is Anti-Lilith, and then the seventh is just heaven.
No, the seventh is where the stairs are to reach heaven.
Yeah, like, there won't be anyone there. That's what I'm thinking.
So only up to two left. Oh. So she was hiding. Samuel came crawling out from below the mountain dirt. Her skin accumulated white with only a few smudges, a dirt tainting it. She hardly looked like someone who had been in severe fire. She stood as the incarnation of Crimson Serpent, an immortal fallen angel. Able to control all snakes at will, she could perish at no attack. In that case, how would her magic remain undetected? Although Samuel was immortal, she would time approach a state nearly close to death. She would become a corpse and begin rotting away, if she so desired. Similarly, she would suppress both her magic and heartbeat. She was perpetually on death's door, yet never once did cross over to the other side. Samuel cast her gaze skyward, observing the canvas of the vacant eyes. After a few moments, she gave her own cheeks a hearty slap with both palms, then began to take in her surroundings with a hint of puzzlement.
What was I going to do again?
So did she lose her memory?
Maybe.
Is this how we get the Samuel route?
I think that was fan art.
Okay, then it was fan art. Are you sure about that? Because that was...
Because we don't want me to like a kid.
Okay. The flame... Well, it... The flames of the ferocity and battle that would have been caused either way. Samuel's memories were vague at best. She could more or less remember her name, abilities, goals, and certain extent. Everything. Angela, the storyline.
Angela, the game.
Yeah, Angela, the book story. As for what she's supposed to do right now, trying to figure out what that's left at her complete loss.
Let me think. Damn. What's it again? It was, why am I drawing a complete blank? How much of an idiot am I?
Samuel gave her cheeks another slap. Nearby, another girl observed the fallen angel, hint of pity reflected in her eyes.
Another girl. Viewer? Help? Unless this is Auntie Lilith.
Probably.
What should I do for Auntie Lilith?
Oh, I was only thinking of Evil Tracer, sorry.
Evil Tracer. If maybe I could just do like, I don't know, like monotone English accents, and Tracer is so high and sad and like really excited all the time. But it's probably not Auntie Lilith, but I'll do that anyway.
We don't know yet.
By any chance, was the capture of Razzle as well as the decryption of the Safarezo by your primary objective?
Samuel spun around to face the sudden newcomer, slight and ready, however.
Oh, it's just you.
Samuel let out an exhausted sigh. The girl standing before her was one who should never forget it. Oh, Eve. Goddamn.
Oh, Eve.
Of course
Okay.
it's Eve. Eve, Samuel's very own accomplice. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were like plotting.
So does that make Eve evil, or?
She's just kind of conflicted because she's like, I want Adam to love me, and I don't really care about anything else.
Yeah, it's just like technically, is it her angel? Wait, because like her angel that sent her here is Kamal, but she works under Samuel. Then who's her demon? Is it Bechiel? I think her demon was. No wait, it was Kamal and Azeroth, isn't it?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
The two head people.
Yeah.
Oh God. Have you failed? You spoke with an uninterested tone.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses, but there's just something wrong with my body.
Munch.
Munch.
Eve met Samuel's embarrassment with a vague nod, leaving it unclear whether or not she had a reason behind the fallen angel's failure. Well, that truly is a shame, isn't it?
It sure is.
Eve calmly lifted her arm, pointing her finger at the visible surprised Samuel.
What's wrong, Eve?
But there's not much what you could do with your deterioration. I am certain next Samuel I will be more successful.
What?
Even now, like, what?
I mean, if that were me, I'd be like, fuck.
What did she just say? Just as Samuel was about to inquire further, dead. The sheer surprise of an explosive crunch came from within her body was the final thoughts Samuel experienced. Oh. She appears to be deteriorating faster and faster, so there really is a limit to it. Samuel's body had literally bursted open. The only reaction Eve showed towards the grisly spectacle was a weary sigh, upon noticing a chunks of flesh struck her clothes. I wonder if I'd be able to get this stain out. And fades away. The moments later she had gone. All that remained was scattered lumps of flesh littered the vicinity, yet even those would soon melt to dusk and carry off by the wind. Well. Oh, this looks pretty.
Yeah.
As we stepped into the word gardens.
H Gardens.
Step into the H Gardens. We greetings.
Hammer
Q.
M-A-Q?
Just KYU is Q.
Nice. H Gardens.
We were green with a vivid yellow fields of rapes.
Yeah.
How would you pronounce that? Rapis?
Well, I guess normal English pronunciation would be rapes.
Like in another language.
You could say rapies. I
rapies.
guess.
Yes, a field of rapies.
Or
yeah, this got unmonetized real fast. Not like we got monetized.
Rapes or something. I don't know, but not rapes.
Rapies.
We'll go with rapies.
And this was where we found the entrance to the sixth stratum.
They famously showed up in okay. Yamamura's Boshu's poetry.
Yeah, you said it correctly.
That I just look at it and I'm like, German word, say it like it's German. I doubt he wrote about this place, so.
A dazzling field of golden rapie flower bloomed full. Should I just say rape flowers? They were rape flowers.
They're rapie flowers.
And the golden rape flowers bloomed full before our very eyes. Samuel, corrupted, must not have reached this place. Its beauty moved me into emotion. The yellow flowers swayed gently in the light breeze, giving no indication of carnage had unfolded nearby a short while ago. In the middle of the field, a sharp contrast to the scenery around it, stood a door that we have been looking for. A brief glimpse made by average wooden door painted white, yet more careful inspection revealed a vast flow of magical energy emanating from within. We had reached the entrance to the sixth stratum. The field around us brimmed with life and beauty, not entirely unlike a certain young girl I met in Pandora. Who? Oh, sorry. Sunflowers would be more fitting match for this personality, though. Rez is like, It's like, are you thinking about Stormy again?
I'm a telepath, you dummy.
For some reason, Razzle was staring daggers in my way. Either way, we needed to press onward to the 6th stratum. We connected both keys to Razzle's tablet and began the data update.
It's that acquisition for the 6th stratum complete. Shall we keep going like this?
I no longer hesitated. If Razzle wished to go, I would follow her by her side, guarding her every step. And making sure I survived too. Yeah, let's go. Onwards then, the 6th stratum, to the book town of Kanda.
The book town!
Yes, the moment we opened the gates and stepped in. Oh. We were greeted by insanity itself.
Ah, all the fractals.
It sounds like church music. Like, you know what I'm talking about? I felt my mind overpowered with tremendous force, trampling down my avalanche of memories, being transformed into data. These were not my own feelings or memories, but those of another birth of someone completely unrelated to me. Let me just increase the volume. I screamed at the top of my lungs. My neurons worked at inhuman speeds, to the point where I imagined they would explode at any second. A blank region I previously isolated in my mind found itself filled with the brink of mere seconds due to overwhelming volume of information. Images, sounds, and feelings entered in at once. Feelings such as regret over one's own powerlessness, regret over remaining celibate for a lifetime. Cough, cough. Feelings such as joy, a surge of overwhelming joy that one indulges in acts deemed taboo by the world. Feelings such as happiness, shedding taboo, letting desire fill one's actions with no shackling dignity, no intrusive rationality, only instinct. We strive for happiness devoid of taboo or of burdens of responsibility, with only desire at king. Enough, quiet down. The voices rang like a swarm of flies, completely jamming my vision and hearing alike. My mind found itself assaulted by a vibrant cacophony of ecstatic joy, a longing to destroy, to violate, to ravage all.
Setsuna!
Despite her similarly grave condition, Razzle still possessed enough willpower to reach out to me. An angel's mind must have been far more resilient than a mere human's. Dizziness took me as my nausea and anguish amplified with my passing second. I felt as someone had cut an incision in my skull, only to drive a deep needle into my exposed brain tissue, a sensation as absolute terror. All transcended mere pain. As my mental capacities had completely shut down, a mere sheer intense of pain, I did not only one thing, still capable of screaming at the top of my lungs. The pain made me yearn for death, all while still wanting to live. Ooh, me! This is my constant state of being. My constant state of being.
Unlike me, who's just like, eh.
This is why I tell you, oh, death all the time, but I still want to live even through. Not in those words. I wish to be released. I longed from the bottom of my very soul to see the end of this pain, to be liberated from this torment, but that alone was the ultimate taboo. Being liberated, yearning for joy, longing desperately for happiness. All those were sins most grave, which is why I long to be free from its shackles.
Setsuna!
Yes.
You snap it right now. You're being dumb.
Her voice rejuvenated my weary mind like a pleasant chill winter breeze. I wanted her to call my name more. Don't you know how that it feels?
Setsuna, snap out of it, Setsuna.
She embraced me, her whole body trembling with fear. She did not fear for her own life or mine.
It's or mine question mark though.
I touched my own lips, finding them curled upwards. I must have been smiling, even in agony. Oh, that's what happened with the other angel. Abdul, or
when he got eaten by his student, he's like, at least she's doing something. I'm so proud of her.
You? A moment later. Alright, I was Abdul and you were
Kiramikayo.
Yes, you remember names. A moment
I
later.
don't pronounce them right, but I remember them.
You pronounced it right. A moment later, an indescribable torment departed, leaving me in broken, trembling mess as I still felt the lingering echo of its crippling anguish. I felt groaning to my knees. When the world was that?
Meant to come contamination. Contamination. I can't say in a German accent at all. Cheers, love.
Rezo whispered the answer into my ears. Despite being a terrible shape herself, the angel still had the strength to stand on her own 2 feet, unlike me. This thing, its intense force surpassed the hallucinations I'd experienced so far. It felt almost akin to having a wild beast run amok your very soul.
I know it's hard, but we have no choice but to endure it. She's like, I'm fine though. Just get over it.
Yep. And what happens if you can't? You don't want to know.
You die, but I'm fine. I'll make it to heaven. Oh, Mikhail's back.
I knew the answer all too well. We would end up like Kuru Mikhail and Abdiel in their quest to reject all. Or perhaps like the maddened Uriel, lording over the third stratum. I knew one thing for certain. This goes on for too long, I won't be able to withstand it. That was the simple truth of the matter, which is why I wasn't particularly terrified either. What I experienced just now was powerful enough that no amount of training would help me prepare for it. If all I had was face all crippling pain, I would still bear it. I started taking refuge within my own heart, blocking out the outside world. However, this kind of mental contamination was different. As for longing, as the door stood ajar, I would be inviting it in. Forget everything, forget yourself, and be at peace. This temptation resounded in my head again and again without end. When I left inside the door, all my pain would have vanished. Knew that for a fact, but I would have also succumbed to madness. I dread the outcome. I dread the fact that I would have buckled beneath the pressure. I dreaded to become another Kumakao, another Uriel. Razo went on her tone, somewhat distant and cold.
In that case, you ought to stay here, Satsuna. Adam might very well come to your aid.
Wow, roasting. You're gonna keep going, Razo?
Yes, my book is on last stratum, and I will not let madness claim me until I have it in my hands.
It's okay, she's already insane. You can't go more insane.
That's me. I'm like, I have to stay a little sane until I get back, and then I can just lose it.
Razzle's gaze burned with determination. I'm going to. In that case, I have no choice but to continue my pilgrimage. Me. No sacrifice to be too great to protect her.
It's like, I'm like book book, 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 book. And you're like, I sure do love her.
You know what the book is. Razzle looked at me, and a hint of sadness in her eyes. She may have wished for me to stay behind.
Sometimes I wish for other people to stay behind, not have to deal with this. But they don't, do they?
I'm sorry. I ended up expanding the blank space I created in my mind on the third stratum to its absolute limit. To do that, I discarded all unnecessary memories. Thankfully, it had only been a few years since I was born. However, the fact casting away memories still pained me like a knife to the heart. I took memories of my birth, the joyful cheers of those who were present, and let it fade into oblivion. I pulled memories from the first meal I ever taken and banished for good. Oh damn, you're gonna be like a lifeless corpse. Yeah. They were treasured memories, yet utterly unimportant to the grand scheme of things. Yeah, you're gonna be like... You're no longer Setsuna if you no longer have your memories. Your memories is what makes you, you. I need to focus on the here and now. My heart's bled with every memory lost, but I managed to endure it. In the end, I managed to expand the blank region of my mind to a point where it would take all destruction and madness of its place. And to accomplish it, I had to erase over 80% of my past. Holy moly. I remember but two things. That I had killed over 10... Why would you leave that in your mind? That's like the first thing that you should have removed. That I killed over 10 billion people, and the woman called Tendo Naru was my mother. That was more than enough for me. Razzle eyeballed me with difficult expression, curious I had regretted any of it. I had no more regrets. To me, the only important thing right now was Razzle herself. Yes! As such, I was content with my actions. You know how I feel. Azeroth? Tick-tock, tick-tock. The incessant ticking of a sizable antique clock echoed loud and clear in Kigutu Sormi's ears. Where?
Oh, we're back with Sormi.
It had been several hours since lost contact with Tendo, Setsuna, and Razzle. Lilith Sormi decided to return to Pandora while Adam and Eve proceed to explore the fourth stratum. How did Eve get there? Wait, is there multiple Eves?
No, there's just one Eve, but whenever she disappears, she just like snaps in and out of a pocket dimension, and she's just like, I'm here!
Yeah, so she teleports. So she could have been to the seventh stratum and back, like, no problem.
Yeah, good.
Because she's currently in the third stratum. And then, like, she went to the fifth stratum, and then back to the second stratum, and then to now going to the fourth. So basically, Setsuna times 3. Times 10.
Yeah, she can do whatever she wants, but she's like, I have no motivation because my motivation is Adam, and Adam doesn't want me going there.
Cough, cough.
Oh.
What? Did you realize something? Did you realize what I was thinking? Cough, cough.
You should mute us off the stream.
Okay, mute. And we're back. Lilith Sormi decided to return to Pandora. Yeah, I read this. Sormi reported that today's events of Azeroth excelled to a sigh or two mid-sentence. Lilith was helping Camel come up with a counterplan of sorts. In all honesty, Sormi would have wished to join them as well. Finally, characters! They cannot be on the fourth stratum. This is much clearer. The place is still under the rule of Oshiba Hanage. What?
See, in this one we haven't gotten to Oshiba Hanage yet.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was the fourth stratum.
Yeah, the fourth stratum. Then they go back to the second stratum to get rid of Mikao. In other words, they must have been on the fifth, the sixth, or even the seventh stratum, right?
That is no precise of any human to have ever reached the stratum. And still, let those hope the first do so. Sormi suddenly recalled that she had been trying to ask It wasn't anything urgent, but she felt it was the best possible thing to bring up. Is something wrong?
You see, I don't know the details, but apparently a group of people attacked Pandora in the past, right?
What?
What?
I have no recollection of this. Oh. Things are piecing together quite well. I am assuming you mean Beelzebub, the son d'Alafon, and Count of Saint-Germain, correct? In which case they were angels and demons, not people. And the place we were in was the place where Beelzebub were residing, but then they all died.
Beelzebub, Sandalphon, and the Count of Saint Germain. Don't forget about Sandalphon.
That's what I said.
I know, that's the best name. Well, I mean, if they walk on two legs, we might as well call them people, no? In any case, I'm especially well versed in the topic of demons, but...
What? Sorry, when did you know this?
She figured it out.
When? How? There's no backstory to this. How do you know?
Figured it out.
Okay. You should rectify that in the future.
I will. I totally will. Anyway, so Beelzebub is pretty famous, right?
He was like, I have no idea. Yes, secondly only to Lucifer, I would say.
And good old Sandalphon was fairly powerful too, right?
He is the angel of fire and the leader of the troops. In terms of strength, he stood near Michael. As for individual prowess, in the battle he has surpassed even Kamael. So who was Michael again?
He was the warrior angel.
No. But like, who was he in the story? Or did he like not?
He's just a dead angel.
Okay, cool. Okay, we haven't seen him. Okay, perfect. I thought we met him.
Oh, and the Count of Saint Germain. He's said to have been immortal and aging, I think. You think a lot of things, don't you, Sophie?
Yeah, and he died.
They're all dead.
Kind of like... Oh, we got her name. Oh my.
Who?
It starts with an S. Samael?
Yeah.
A true rarity. That man, a psychic of considerable power.
And how far did their group make it?
I was outside, leaning back on his chair. I remember the day. Gods will lead just, and so is our crusade. They cried the voices filled with joy, and the group with the first and best hope for opening the gates of heaven.
But they failed.
At this point, I'm just, what's his face? You know what Rocky's name is, like his real name?
No.
No? Okay. But you know how he talks, right?
Yeah.
That's what I sound like.
Yeah, remember when he was Reinhardt?
Yeah, and then I made him, Count Chocula.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's Rocky Balboa.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to go back to, Count Dracula?
Nah, this works.
Indeed he did, and now we didn't determine when he was about to happen or even figure to defeat them. Those are turbulent times, truly.
Turbulent?
She's like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Please repeat yourself, please.
Why would the pilgrimage fail? Why would the pilgrim's mind be claimed by madness during the journey? And most of all, how would one explain the appearance of humans who devoured angels and demons to gain the powers?
Oh Lord.
Like, I'm like accentuating that like accent thing to its like highest degree. It's like
Yeah. And you couldn't come up with any sort of answer.
No.
I'd like to ask you to imitate my accent, but then again, you don't think I have an accent?
Cough cough. I said nothing.
To this day, it excludes us. All we know for certain is that the intensity of mental contamination amplifies the farther one makes it to the pilgrimage.
Wait, so the cause...
They all speak of hearing a certain song, a divine chorus filled with ears.
Oh.
Sormy had once remembered something. Back then, she could have sworn she heard a beautiful singing voice. Sormy was from the thing, and then she came down.
Sormy. Are you actually a master and you didn't know?
She was actually a master. We figured it out. Sormy's a master. As Noah loudly snapped her fingers, startling Sormy.
There is someone who wanted to prevent us from reaching heaven. At the time, we speculated that someone to be Samuel.
Samuel? Is that someone related to Mr. Cameo?
I was like, oh, that's racist. Why would you just assume that? Camel's like,
That's
what
namist, Sormy? That's
Yeah.
namist.
Camel's like, oh, what the hell, Sormy? You're just gonna name me like that?
Azeroth allowed him a short giggle. Heavens no. Samuel is the fallen angel, one tempted Adam and Eve with the fruit of knowledge. A serpent who harbors love in mankind and hatred towards God.
She loved us?
Quotation marks.
Like men do their dogs as pets. However, she is the kind of owner who breaks the legs of a dog unless they obey their commands, or strangling to death if they dared bite back.
That's really not keeping a pet, but rather
Full-on
Slayer.
full-on slavery.
Either way, we suspect her to be the culprit behind this.
The mental contamination, you mean?
Cough, cough. No, she isn't. Cough, cough, she's dead. Cough, cough, it still exists. Cough, cough, she has an even greater master.
Indeed, which is why we thought the best course of action would be to send an angel and demon to whom Samael would not pose a threat.
Such as Beelzebub and Sandolphon. Both with far surpassed Samael, whose primary trade lay in temptation. Even here in Tokyo Babel, their one raison d'être proved essential in battle. Beelzebub and Sandolphon held the overwhelming advantage, which is precisely why no one expected someone in Samuel's caliber to prove an obstacle at all.
Allow me to answer your previous question then. Many a master come to strike down Beelzebub's team and none succeed. And to report the downfall of Fort Stratton Master, we were ecstatic none before them, and made this far, you see. However, we lost contact with them soon after the same time we reported them for heading to the Fifth Stratum.
Oh, Sormy line.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes the fifth stratum the end of the line, basically.
Cough, cough.
Unless you just power your way through it.
Actually, we were in the fifth stratum. Samuel was the master.
So wait.
I got that for a long time.
Stratum 1 was Gessel.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2 was Mika. 3 was Uriel. 4 was Ushbehagene. Then Samael. Then question mark. Then a ladder to heaven.
Yes.
In other words, no one witnessed what happened afterwards, huh?
Azrael nodded. I never expected somehow to pass those 3 in power. But they return in pilgrimage in 10 days. They're far beyond the point where they were reasoned with. Azrael grew distant, stormy withstood the heartbeat, and Demon Lord was resembling the day in question. I'm just gonna change all. They died. Which and every one of them killed. We mobilized all our forces on both sides and prevailed. What we did really got a victory though. We were all in our wits' end, wrestling with exhaustion. That might as well have been a day of utter defeat on every side. Azart's final words lowered to a whisper. Oh, if anything, I went higher.
So there hasn't been anyone who toppled the 4th stratum since then? Your friends just did.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like we skipped it, but yes. In another timeline, we did, but no.
Yeah.
That is correct. As the time passed, the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd stratum were all overrun. Then the Master took control of the 1st stratum. We somehow managed to stifle their events.
Oh. That's the instant I got caught up in.
Hey, you want to end the stream here?
Sure.
Plus, I need a pee.
Yes, pig.
Save.
It was not those.
It was this one.
Yep.
Save. And now, we will now leave. Hello, bye-bye. We'll see you next time. Please come back to the next stream. I need a pee.
Yeah.
Goodbye.